Good morning. I hope everyone is enjoying the first part of November. And I apologize if I sound a little funny. I am getting over a cold, but I'm also not at home with my mixer and the fancy mic setup that I usually use to record. I'm on the road today, so it may sound a little different. But I wanted to start off with a joke. I know you're excited. So here it goes. How many therapists does it take to change a light bulb? One. But the light bulb really has to want to change. That was my little rim shot. Okay, I know that's old and I know that's a silly joke, but I thought of that because I was changing the light bulb in my closet. Yep, I'm blonde, not naturally, and I can change a light bulb. But here's the thing about that. It had been out, I'm going to guess for about a year. I don't know. It's ridiculous how long that light bulb was out. But the ceiling is, I don't know, like 9 or 10 feet tall. And I had to go get that really tall ladder that's out in my garage. And I just, I thought, I know where things are. And I used the hall light that was, near the closet. And I would just get things. So I was not actually in the dark, but it was dark enough that I had to, make adjustments to find what I was looking for or to look a little harder. And one day I thought, this is absolutely ridiculous, Danae. Go get the ladder, change the stupid light bulb. And so I did. And what I found was an unbelievable amount of dust in the corners. And so, okay, I had just let myself walk around in the dark, get used to it, make excuses, say, yeah, I'm going to get to it someday. I really do need to change that thing. But it just became a way of life. And instead of addressing the problem head on, I changed my pattern of thinking and looking to fit into this new dark situation. And so I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going. What happened when the light came on literally was that I was appalled that I had let so much dust gather in the corner. So yesterday I spent a good amount of time. Of course, when you start doing something like that, it's like, oh, I'm going to clean out a drawer. Well, then one thing leads to another. So yes, I started cleaning out my closet and getting rid of things that I didn't need anymore, things that were taking up space I knew I wasn't going to use them. It was like those things you hang on to for years and think, yeah, someday I'm going to go hiking again and I'll need this fanny pack. I actually might. So the truth is I just moved it to another closet. But I got my vacuum cleaner and that long extension pole and I started moving everything around, putting things in order, getting the dust and clutter out of the way so I could function like I'm supposed to in this space. And that is so typical of how we sometimes just walk through life. We're in the dark. We know we need to change. We know we need to declutter our lives, maybe even our relationships, things that don't serve us anymore. And so I thought, this is just, again, why the Enneagram to me is just like decluttering your life. You get used to the old habits, old ways of functioning, and you don't really think about how much baggage you're carrying around or how much dust is collected in the corners until you become intentional with saying, I need to change some things. And so that's what I did. That's what I have done through these years with the Enneagram. And I've said this before, I've been on this Enneagram journey, or more than that. It's just a development journey all my life, as everyone is, whether you know it or not. You're growing and changing. It's just, are you intentional about the way you're changing? And so for me, I've said this before, the Enneagram has been that tool to reveal to me the places where I've let things get cluttered, where I've let things become habitual. And I was reading on the Enneagram, one of the pages on Facebook, and I came across this question, which I thought was so fascinating. Because the truth is, if you've been doing this for years and years and years, I know people might be wondering, are you ever just going to, move on to something else? So the question that somebody posed was, is there a plateau to the Enneagram? And she says, say someone has been studying the Enneagram seriously for years and doing lots of inner and outer work, been steadily moving up the levels of development. Now they embody all the qualities of the highest version of their core type and point of growth. Have they plateaued? What an interesting question. And there were a lot of answers, several comments, but there were two that really struck me. And one guy says, there's always room for growth. And to be alive means that the world will continually present you with such opportunities. So there's the answer. You may get to a certain point in your own awareness of yourself, but the world's going to continue to change. And this is where we have to stop, change the light bulb as it is, intentionally say, where am I in my own development in accordance to the world's moving up? And I've referenced the spiral before, spiral dynamics. As the world becomes more aware of how we're integrated and where we are in relation to the planet, to the people in the planet, then our collective mindset changes, and therefore we must readdress our internal mindset. So I don't think you'll ever plateau. And another answer was from a girl who said the Enneagram is a model of constantly moving energy, not a self-improvement program. I loved that. I love that so much, because that's why being on a path with the Enneagram or whatever tool you've chosen isn't something that you just close the book and go, there, I've learned all the facts, ma'am, and now we're done. There was an old song when I used to be a member of this church that I went to in my much younger days. Excuse me. And there was a song that said, I shall not be moved. And my dad, who was a minister back then, said, that seems to be the theme song of a lot of people. They plant themselves in what they think is the end of their journey of learning, and they say, I will not be moved. I believe what I believe. I'm good where I am. And like I referenced last week, I'm just going to leave well enough alone. Why would we ever leave well enough alone when wondrous is awaiting us? But that is a lot of times I hear people basically say, I'm good where I am. I'm good. I don't know why I would want to change. And so that leads me to this article that I'm not going to say who wrote it. It was someone I am incredibly close to. And he wrote it about 6 years ago. And it came to my mind, and I thought it was probably one of the biggest compliments I've ever received. He wrote an article called The 10 Best People I Know. And I know this sounds like I'm really giving myself a pat on the back, but I'm not. I was in awe when he wrote this, but here's what he said on his list of the 10 best people he knows. Number 7, the people who are willing to have their minds changed. And he wrote, times change, people change, we evolve, but all too often beliefs and opinions stay mired in the past. There can be a lot of pressure to keep them there, which is why I so admire the people who are strong enough to unstick themselves. People who continuously choose their beliefs after examining several sides of an issue, even if it means saying they were wrong. Well, those are admirable folk, rare and admirable. And this one is for Danae. Now, that's one of the biggest compliments I've ever received, is being able to share that it's okay to change. Things are going to change. My life circumstances change. And the ability to say, you know what, I'm going to keep investigating and see what else is there. What more do I have to learn about myself? And it may be as simple as changing the light bulb, but it's those aha moments of, you know what, if I just take this simple step, and it was a simple step. It was a step ladder that I had to get on and change that light bulb so I can change my perspective, maybe see what's in my way of growth, maybe see some things that have just not served me where I am today. Some of those clothes that didn't fit any longer, some of them that were very out of style, and things that I've hung onto for so long in my closet. I'm back to the closet. Some shoes that were just so cute that were basically tied to memories of events that I went to years and years ago that were fun, and times in my life where I could celebrate. They were moments of celebration. I thought, oh, someday I'll wear those again. But you know what? They served a purpose then. They're not serving me today. And so I'm letting them go. I'm making room for the new things that are available for me. And I think the Enneagram has been just that for me. And I hope that whatever it is that's cluttering up your life, you can be intentional and say, I'm going to just take one small step to see what might be standing in my way of growth. It's okay to change. In fact, you're going to change. You can either resist it or lean into it. And I bet you find out there's so much more when you clear out the junk in your life. I hope you all get to discover the joy of who you are by finding out and loving your number. Have a great week.